Hi, this is December 26th, 2020, and this is my end of the month update. And so I'm going to show you what's still in bloom and what's going to bloom for early 2021. So I'm starting off with Andean Fire. I believe this is the second flower, and if you look over there, somehow there is another bud on the way, so I'm hoping that this one will bloom for another couple of months. The plant itself is doing very well because it's not terribly obvious, but there are several new growths on the plant, so maybe next year I'll have more than one spike. So moving on, I have Hene Papal, which is in bloom on two spikes. That's the new spike, and this is the old spike here. And the flowers are still rose scented. But these are the final flowers. There's only going to be, this is going to be the last flower. The new spike only had two buds forming, so I guess the plant is depleted from its energy. So I will enjoy these flowers that are still rose scented, by the way. And much to my surprise, this Pachyra Rapi Path, which is Bangkok Sunset times Pine Rivers, is still in bloom after 6 weeks. So the longevity that you've seen in these flowers, these very lovely flowers, I might add. Hopefully the camera is focusing. It comes at the cost of fragrance. For some unknown reason, this plant is a lot more fragrant in the heat of summer. So yeah, something quite unexpected. So I don't know if you remember, but a while back I went to visit Paradis des Orchidées, and I bought two Paphios in spike. And here's the first one. This is Paphio chamberlainianum times mocketianum, and it is a sequential bloomer. So this is the first flower. Focus. Yeah. And behind there is another bud. I don't know if it's going to develop because the plant was a little bit in distress when it came here. As you could see, one of the lower leaves there is turning brown. So there is some browning on some of these lower leaves. But I did repot it because I wanted to see what was going on. There were a couple of mushy brown roots, but a few ones with active tips. So I think the plant's going to be okay. I'll show you the other one afterwards. So what else is in bloom here? I don't think these were open last time. This is Brassavola Little Stars. This is a reliable bloomer for me now. Relatively easy to bloom, but resists being repotted. So if you're going to put it in a pot, leave it there for a couple of years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years if you have to. So yeah, this is strongly fragrant at night, and it smells much better than its Nodosa parent that I also have, which bloomed for me in the summer months. Next to it is Oncidium Twinkle. It has two spikes, and this is the one that smells like caramel. Yeah. These flowers last for about a month for both of these, but this is fragrant at night, and this is fragrant during the day. Yeah. So now I'm going to switch gears. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Before I do that, my Zygonesia is on its way out. It stopped being fragrant yesterday. I thought this plant was going to fade in the last couple of weeks, but it didn't. And since it's a first time bloomer for me, I didn't know what to expect. But I really enjoyed these flowers. The scent, the fragrance on these was phenomenal. Not too strong, but a nice spicy lilac fragrance during the day. So if I'm going to switch gears into things that are in spike, this is my Solagini Simone color times Usitana. It's my only Solagini that I have, and probably my last, because they're just not very compact. And it's a difficult plant in the southwest window. It would require much less, it doesn't need this much light. But it does have a spike, and it seems to do that twice a year, in the spring and in the fall. So we'll see. I don't know when the bud is actually going to form. This is just a spike. So yeah. If you go to my spring videos, you'll actually see it, or my summer videos actually, you'll see what the flowers look like. And so if I move on to this corner, this is the other Pachyra that I bought at Paradis des Orchidées. When I bought it, it had just like a swelling in the crown, and it's grown this much in, I don't know, in a month or two, probably 2 months, I guess. So this is also a sequential bloomer as well, and I guess you can sort of see that the flowers are going to be yellow-green. So I can't wait to see that. If you want to see what this is, that's the cross. Yeah. And this is my only Vanda in bloom at the moment. This is Pachyra Delight, which was in distress for some unknown reason this summer. I think I just didn't have enough potting medium in there. I think the roots got fried. But it managed to tweak out a spike with 5 flowers, and I'm really, really happy. Yeah, I'm really, really happy. So what's coming in bloom right now is my Louisiana this color. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of blooms, but I'm kind of happy because this is it has a lot of history, this plant. I mean, I had one like 20 years ago. I divided it, I gave it to a bunch of people, and my plant basically died because it got infested with some pests. And so almost, I'd say 10-15 years later, a cutting from that original plant makes its way back here. So I'm glad to have this one back. Always a joy to have. And okay, so moving down, this is Brassavola subullifolia. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. This is cordata, I guess the old name. And this is a plant I got from Lucy the cat. I think it arrived here in August, and she gave me a really, really nice cutting of this plant. I mean, look at these amazing pseudobulbs. So since being here, it grew this guy. It grew this guy here. This guy here, which just got a spike. And yeah, so it's grown a few pseudobulbs, and so I'm amazed that it actually spiked and being here in such little time. I mean, it arrived bare root, and I think it's too early to tell, but I think there's also a spike forming here because I feel a bump. So that's kind of cool. And these will also be fragrant, and I can't wait to compare it to my little stars, which may or may not be in bloom by then. We'll see. And next to that is my Vanda la melata, which I've had now for almost 4 years. And it took a while, but Look at that. I think I have like 12 buds on this thing. And when I bought it, it had like 5 flowers with an aborted end. I guess it was transport damage. But look at these flowers. Look at these buds, I should say. Yeah. I'm sorry about the crazy lighting, but the sun keeps coming in and out of the clouds. So, yeah. They have these, hard to describe, but these little horns. I don't know what you call them. But they just got pink, and the buds are starting to get some kind of color. So you can quite see that they're almost like cream colored at this point, with some burgundy brown at the tip. This is a Boxellii times Remidosia cross. So it's still supposed to be considered a species, but yeah. So I can't wait to see this in bloom. It's the first time I've rebloomed this one, so I'm so happy, really, really happy. And the last plant I'm going to feature is this guy here. This is, let's see, this is my Pedium persei, which is in spike. I think you might have seen this in my last video. Here it is. This is the spike. This is a very small plant. So, but before it made the spike, it grew these 2 new growths. I mean, and they are like they spread underground, as you can see. So it's crazy, just crazy. When this plant gets to bloom on multiple spikes, I think it's going to be just amazing. So, and considering this plant was purchased in bloom in June, I believe, I think this has the potential to bloom more than once a year. So, really happy about that. I don't think it made a lot of flowers. I think it only made 3, but it did. I mean, it was shipped while it was in flowers, so and it went through a lot of changes. I don't think I repotted it, but I think I just put some sphagnum moss on it. But it's a very unusual Phragmipedium because the spike has a leaf of its own. So so if you look at the last spike, it's like a wooden stick. It's very strange, and there's the leaf. So it may be in bloom, and maybe you may not even be aware of it because it's not so obvious when it actually is in bloom. Anyways, I just lost my light because the sun just got covered by a big, bad, ugly cloud. Anyways, so that's my update for December 26th. And I'll leave off with my Vanda Beauty here, Pachyra Delight. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this update. And thank you to all my subscribers. And thank you for watching.